Hey guys, hope you're well. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing a very beautiful success story with you. This is going to be a story of my one-on-one client who manifested marriage with her specific person. This is a beautiful story. This involves a lot of back and forth, hot and cold. This also involves a lot of insecurities, a lot of self-work, a lot of self-reflection. So I'm really excited to share this story with you, but one thing I would say is that this story can be slightly complicated. So try to understand this in a step-by-step manner, because only if you understand the first part would you be able to understand how the second part goes, right? Because I am going to go into a lot of detail in this story, which is something that a lot of you have been asking me for. So I keep getting comments from people, DMs from people, that when you explain a success story, try to go a little bit more into detail, because some people might not like it, but we do, right? So if someone doesn't want this deep part, you can just skip it. But if you truly want to learn from this, then sticking around watching this whole story would really help. So I will start by reading the success story first. Hi Karan, so here is my heartfelt thank you message. When I came to you, it was really the lowest period of my life. I was under immense pressure to get married, and because of because of the pressure, I was also running behind the wrong person. I will explain this as we go ahead. When I reached out to you, I had already went through a lot of manifestation content and just wanted your help to manifest this person back. But only after our first call did I realize that manifesting someone is the secondary thing. First and foremost, I need to work on myself, realize my own value, not chase anyone. I'm not going to lie, it was not easy, but in this process, I really did find me and got to know my value and realized that I really didn't want that person in the first place. And the curtains on my eyes finally came down, and I was able to see I deserved much better than this person, and I found the courage to stand up in front of him and in front of my family and say that I will only marry if I find someone right, or else I'm okay being single, which was unimaginable for me before. And I really found my happy place in me. After years of struggling and starting to enjoy myself within no time, so organically I met my husband. Things happened so organically that I couldn't have imagined anything better. All the other things I wanted, he's the embodiment of that. Once I met him, in the beginning, even when everything was good, because of the past experiences, I had a negative spiral and it manifested in the 3D. But this time, your teachings stood by me. I didn't even bother fixing anything in the 3D, just went about fixing only me, and the rest fell into place beautifully by itself. And as suggested by you, we took a good amount of time to understand each other and finally got married. A heartfelt thanks to you, Karan, not just for helping me get married, but for helping me find my own self and teaching me the importance of being my own cheerleader. This is an amazing success story, an amazing one. So let's now go back, understand each and everything about this person, and then we will understand how her situation went. So this girl, as she was growing up, she was bullied a lot, right? She was bullied a lot in school, and she was also given a lot of passive aggressive comments from her family members. This was in lines of every time she does something, instead of being corrected, she was constantly scolded. So let's say she put the cup in the wrong place. Instead of being taught that, it's fine that you put it in this place, she was constantly scolded that, oh, you are so foolish, you are so this, you are so that, you cannot even do this. And this is how she grew up. So she was someone who grew up hyper insecure about her own self. She was also very insecure about her own looks, because that is the aura of fear and worry was something that she used to carry in her life, and because of which she was constantly in a zone where she was self-doubting, she was self-worried. Now, when we are in this kind of a situation, a part of our mind doesn't actually feel that love is something for me, which is something she also didn't feel. She didn't feel that love is something for me. She didn't feel that I am someone who can be loved properly. And because of this, two things were happening. First thing is, she was putting something so much on a pedestal when it was coming to her. So let's say a guy used to come and compliment her, give her some nice treatment. She used to pedestalize it very quickly, right? The next thing that was happening is, because in her mind, a part of her mind doesn't feel safe with the idea of being loved and doesn't actually feel worthy of it. She was constantly picking unavailable partners in her life, right? Now, this became a pattern for her. So she first met a guy. She, at this moment, was when she was getting into manifestation, but all her desires are constantly from insecurity, and it was going against her whole identity that she was trying to build, right? Because I cannot say I'm blessed at one place and on the other hand consistently keep on choosing and chasing someone unavailable, which is unconsciously what she was doing. She had one SP, A few days later, when this guy used to start to give her a little attention, she used to go to another one, then another one, then another one. So there were multiple SPs, right? On her journey to trying to manifest the first one, she would often meet some guy who would come in her life. She would get addicted to the attention again, and she would move to that guy as the next SP. This is something that kept on happening in her life, right? Now, one quality that was constantly in these people that she was picking is that all of them were unavailable in some way. So someone was with, let's say, someone else, someone was non-committal, someone was emotionally unavailable, someone maybe didn't even just want the concept of marriage at all. This is the kind of situation that she was getting herself involved in. So when we say everyone is you pushed out, what we need to understand is that our choices are us pushed out too. My choices will also reflect me. My choices will also showcase who I am, which is what she was doing, and she was doing it without even knowing. She came to me at this particular point. So this is the first time that I had an interaction with her. Now, when she first came to me, she told me that, you know what, this is thou the guy, this is the situation, and this led me to ask her a question like, how many previous relationships have you had? And she said, none, but in these past 5 to 6 months, I have changed 5 to 6 SPs. That was the first most important thing for me to understand about her, is that to a degree she's constantly just jumping from one relationship to the other because a part of her mind is getting, attracted to that attraction and attention. And also, to a degree, all of these men have unavailable traits, right? Which is why my first question to her was that, are you willing to work on herself? Now, each and everything that I'm telling you about this person, I'm telling you out of pride. So when I'm sharing these things with you, it is not to shame her or to shame someone who's in a similar situation. But I'm so proud of the fact that even after going through these situations and going through this particular journey, she was still able to work on herself, and she was still able to get things in her life. So when she came to me, she told me that, Karan, this is the situation. I am constantly in these back and forth scenarios. And I told her that let's work on ourselves. And this one statement I said to her, I still remember, is I said, like I told her that a lot of times what we are considering normal and what we are considering okay is just because we don't know what good and great means, right? So if I'm constantly choosing okay situations, I don't know it, and I'm pedestalizing it because I don't know what great looks like. And because of which, when I will start to finally feel worthy of love, I would also pick people in my life who would reflect that automatically. This stuck with her. So after the call, she told me that she just wants to work on herself, and she has recognized that a big part of her mind only wanted this person because it was a game for her, right? This is where she actually practiced a very open mindset. I'm very happy with that, because this is something that we rarely get as coaches, because these conversations are sensitive and people usually don't like it. And her liking it in this regard was absolutely amazing, because she actually wanted to work on her. Imagine someone wanting to work on themselves fully committed. That's a dream. That's a dream client to work on. And I'm pretty sure most of my clients are that way. Most of my clients are that way, that they're very, very open to work on themselves. And I've even had people who earlier weren't in that zone but came back to me later when these patterns kept on repeating in their lives, that, Karan, now I don't see a choice, but I need to work on myself. Now, as we were starting to work on her, we were starting to work on her self concept, her past behaviors, not feeling rejected, making her feel secure. She manifested a guy in her life automatically. Now, this is a guy that she actually loved in as she saw it, because she saw that this guy has all the qualities that she needs. As the situation started getting better, we first connected with her. Now, what happened is, earlier her self concept was getting better, a lot better. But as soon as she started getting involved with this guy, her past triggers start to came back. She start to react in the same way. So what she used to do is two things. First, she had very, very unrealistic expectations from him. So let's say she used to feel insecure, right? Or let's say she needed constant validation and attention. This is tricky, so understand this. She used to constantly project it onto him, that, oh, you need to do this for me, you need to do this for me. Now, your partner can validate you, that's fine, but they cannot be the only source of your validation, right? And it's not your partner's job to deal with your insecurities for you. This is very difficult to hear, I understand, but it's also a very important factor for our journey to grow, right? She was constantly hoping that, let's say she wants him to call 50 times and only then she would feel secure. She used to consistently keep on doing that, right? And when he didn't used to always reciprocate, which he shouldn't, he should project it that she has to work on this. When he used to push it or he used to go in this direction, she used to say that he's such a bad person, he's this and that because he's not satisfying my needs. Now this is where just understand how weird this pattern can get. And as this pattern was getting more and more inclined, she started developing resentment that, oh, he's this bad kind of a person, right? Now, as she was doing that, she started pushing this person away, and this person also started sensing that energy, and he also started getting pushed away, right? This became her consistent pattern. Now, in this moment, this is where the work that she had done truly shined. So she started actually becoming very stable. She told herself that I will go back to who I was before I started getting involved in my insecurities, because the version of me who I was at that time didn't have to do anything to get this person back in her life. She only had to work on herself. She only was stable with her own self, with her own state of being. And that is what my client started to focus on. And eventually, out of the blue, this guy came to her. He talked to his family. He convinced his family. They all got together and eventually they started dating, right? Now, one advice I gave to her is that, you know what? Before marrying this person, I think you should date him for a while. I think that till now you have constantly been running after security. Now, because you are just getting into this, you should assume that security is a given, right? But I also need to see if our connection is as good as it is on paper, right? Because I really want you to make a correct decision. Recently, she told me that after taking that time, she spent a lot of time. She even got some insecurities in the return. But all the self concept work that she had done on herself actually got her to a place where she didn't worry about this, and it automatically turned into a full fledged married. She's now married with this person, happily married, working on herself, thriving, and is now wanting to work on other areas of her life, which is what we are going to focus on moving forward. So, if you are someone who's in a similar situation, this success story should tell you that you can also do it, that you can also work on yourself, that you can also receive good results for yourself, because that is what you deserve. So I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that you apply these things in your life on a drastic basis and a daily basis, because you deserve it. So I will see you guys in the next video and hope you have a good one.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.